Hello and welcome back to the Chisholm Esports Invitationals. How you going? Well, this is the first time we've actually had on-screen casters, so it is very live and exciting for me. And also my co-host here today, who is in fact not Mr. Dunphy, quite a little bit shorter. It's Max Formal Casting. Hello, hi.
I'm not that much shorter. It's only like a meter or two. I mean, let's be real here. I'm pretty sure he wears pumps in his shoes, and it's all a bit of a scam, really. No, we're doing great. Super excited to be here. First time here at this school, and got a little look around. Beautiful campus, and I love it. It's green, just like Summoner's Rift, and I'm really keen to get into that.
Yeah, me too. So Max himself is from UQ, so we'd like to throw out a huge thank you to UQ for helping us out with this entire tournament here. We couldn't have done it without you guys, so again, thank you so much. And the game we'll be casting today is Chisholm Maroon versus Trinity, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Chisholm play quite a bit, both through the UQ tournament and at the ECA. I'm excited to see how much microlag has improved in particular as a player. Every time I see him play, super impressed. Jungle main, diamond level jungler, always super fun, super good to watch.
Yeah.
Trinity, new team for me.
Yeah.
Don't really know much about them. Looking at, some of the players ahead of time, I feel like this might be a bit of a tough challenge for them.
Yeah.
We'll get more into that, though, I'm sure, as we get closer to the actual game itself. But first, Riot's 10-year anniversary happened, and I really want to dig into that.
Because if you haven't seen, we're wearing Poro crowns, headdresses, tiaras.
Oh, I like that.
Poro tiaras.
Makes me feel pretty.
Yeah. So luckily these were given to us by Riot, so very thankful for that. But yeah, the tenure, I'd love to know your whole thoughts. I dissected it last week, but I'd love to hear your whole thoughts about the whole event.
Oh yeah, well I mean, I was fortunate enough to get that invite to go down to Sydney itself, and that was a real treat. Was not expecting at all what was delivered. I kind of went down there on the premise okay, it's going to be a little luncheon. We're going to sit at tables, maybe a little socializing, networking. That next thing I know, they have us all sitting down, and we saw that same video everyone else did, that Riot Please, where all of the announcements, all the new games, and to be a part of a live crowd full of some of the most passionate Riot and League of Legends fans as they're going, being released, and everyone's cheering as with each new game. It was pretty special, and then being one of the first also to trial the card game. I got straight into it. Right after the presentation, they pulled me downstairs and they got me in a PvP game against EU Test Account 14, I believe was his name. And
did you win or did you lose?
Of course I won. Had to do OCE proud. We need to beat EU in some sort of Riot game, so got it done there.
I mean, I was gobsmacked. I mean, playing this game for 10 years to finally get the Riot game to deserve that S the whole time, and I mean there was so much speculation over so long whether it was going to be an MMORPG, because now they have that such big lore aspect. I mean, they've just released the book as well about all the lore, which I really want to turn into a D&D campaign.
That's the smart way to approach that.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool because they've already got that pre-constructed universe, all the factions, just chuck a couple numbers onto it, roll a couple dice, and you think you should be good.
I mean, I one time ran a D&D campaign based off of Ravnica in Magic the Gathering. And this was before, Ravnica utterly got obliterated. They actually did release a D&D book. I did it myself before that, and then I got that book and it helped. But yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I think it's a great setting to form a D&D campaign. But while you're waiting for that to happen, it did look like there was a hint of that RPG there. Blitzcrank was running around.
Like a top-down isometric dungeon crawler based thing, which, I mean, I'm all for. I want to sink my teeth into as many hours of all the Riot games as I can. I love the characters. That's why anyone comes back to these, is the huge range of characters. I mean, you even have the animated series, which they're releasing now, which I believe has Jinx and
it looked like Jinx and Vi.
I think Jinx and Vi, or are we thinking maybe another, Jinx is the good guy and then Vi is, and then someone else.
Someone corrupted Vi, or Jinx rather, and turned her to the life of crime. I'm not sure, because there is that third character with them.
Yes.
Because there was the two of them, and then the
could be Caitlyn's nemesis.
Oh. Yeah, a lot of
story and lore, everyone.
A lot of speculation there, but also the other games to note, the card game did come out. Everyone played it. There's the FPS game, which looks way too hard for me.
Yeah.
That looks serious business in that one.
Yeah, that's going back to my roots. I'm very much an FPS person at heart. I loved the entire game series. So to see what Riot's unique take is upon that, it does have some aspects which I have seen before, very Twitch shootery like. And so, I mean, it does have magic and spells, so how they are able to adjust the game style of an FPS around those spells. And I mean, we were talking before the stream and you said that it was very map-based control.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see how high the skill rating is on that game as well, because it's not only an FPS, but it's a wizard FPS.
It looks very high skill rating for me, and I'm glad they have that game for you. Honestly, the card game I suppose might be more for me, but the other game that got my interest, and this is going to catch a lot of people off surprise because I think this one kind of a lot of people brushed aside, but the Esports Manager Sim.
Oh, we were talking, yeah. I mean,
that is right up my alley because I've always been the strategy player, this sort of, I guess sometimes real-time strategy, but like I also come from a background of Madden and all those sort of football games, and I always acted the owner, and I had more fun building the teams, and that I always kind of wanted one for esports. So I see that. I am
just
in.
Put Faker in. Just whatever team. Just get rid of that team and just put Faker in your team.
That's easy mode. I'm going to do it hard mode, so I'm going to have to try and build a team around Bjergsen instead.
Just put. Can you put multiple of one person in team?
Oh, a team of all Faker.
Yeah.
And then put that in OCE and see if that can overcome our OCE world's curse.
Just put Faker against OCE and then see how that goes. Just a one person.
Oh, 1v5?
1v5. I'm sure if anyone could do it, it would be our Lord and Savior Faker.
You know what? I wouldn't put it past him.
And also the fighting game.
Yes, I mean...
The fighting game, which is awesome. Like, I don't... Like, how... Every time they released something and they were like, oh, and there's more. And I was like, stop. I can't handle this.
I mean, the fighting game was announced at EVO, so I did see that one coming. And I'm not the biggest fighting game player, but I love watching it. I'm a big fan of the scene. And already knowing that it has the backing of EVO, plus it has the monetization and money backing of Riot, because if Riot does anything, it's esports. And I feel like that's something that fighting game communities have been lacking for a large side. Like, there's never really been a company behind the fighting game that's actually going to push it to that next level.
It's always kind of like, there's always been a really good tournament setting for them, but there hasn't been anything that's been taking it to the next level.
The companies have never been behind it. Like, Smash, you could argue, is probably the biggest fighting game, but Nintendo doesn't support the esports scene.
Yeah.
You know Riot will if it takes off, and I think that's going to pull a lot of interest into this game, and all of a sudden we could be seeing something very big there, almost as big as, the mobile League of Legends is going to be in the Chinese market.
Yeah, I was so, and then again, they're releasing TFT on mobile phones, and that's definitely something I'm going to be sinking so many hours into, because TFT, I love it dearly. It is such a good strategy game. And also, Season 2 of TFT has come out. Like, they didn't stop there. Yeah. They also just went, hey, we're also releasing Season 2. And I was like, okay.
I like how we're going backwards through this. Like, we started with their last announcements, and we're working our way back to the front.
And I'm sure if we check after the stream, there'll be something new as well.
I'm sure. Because, like, going back literally to the start of it is the changes to Summoner's Rift and how, like, the map is going to be changing entirely. New dragons and all that. And talking about how junglers have to react before, I'm curious to see what Microlag will do going into the next year, knowing how everything's going to change.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely going to be a new, unique challenge that the Rift hasn't seen in the past 10 years.
Exactly.
Being something that transforms the map entirely. I mean, we have added more jungle camps, which have changed the map in some degree, but ultimately, I mean, we haven't had a huge map change since the very beginning when brushes were shortened down and they were removed. That I'd say would be largely the biggest change that has come.
The top lane bushes and that is the big one, and now we're actually getting like a second lane in both of the top and the bot lane. It's going to be definitely a treat. Looking forward.
And then as well, let's just keep throwing it on top. We're getting Senna.
Yep.
For our Lucian's wife's back.
Yeah, new marksman support.
So, I mean, we'll see how that comes out. I'm upset that Bard's not classified as a marksman support because he should be. I build him AD. I mean, I don't know whether it's on the recommended build, but to me, he's a marksman support.
I mean, and there was a time when Miss Fortune was constantly running support as well.
Yeah.
So I would almost say she was the first true marksman support. Granted, it was only really in the hands of Gorilla that it was performed correctly.
Yeah.
Gorilla, Korean player of, at the time, Rocks Tigers. Now I believe he's in Turkey, actually.
Oh, interesting change.
Yeah, he went off the map a bit.
Just a little bit. Just
I'm sorry. Am I getting him confused with... No, it was Gorilla. I'm trying to think where Prey went. Prey, no, was it Prey who went to Turkey and Gorilla went to Misfits? Either way, Korean supports, they went everywhere this year.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were in high demand.
They were.
And especially when the Koreans were the ones that were very much dictating the meta. To have even the support players of such a good caliber, they are trained ridiculously well.
Arguably still are. I mean, you want to go back, you look at the days of Mad Life, and then you go forward into now, and it's like Mad Life into Mata, and now it's just crazy. But we have an actual game of players on our hand. Enough about the past 10 years. We need to look at the present. And looking up ahead, it's going to be Chisholm Maroon taking on Trinity College, and as I mentioned before, I'm going to dig a bit more into it now. For Trinity, this is going to be a tough match.
Yeah. I mean, recently Chisholm, I believe, recently Chisholm have changed their roster around. So myself being the head coach of Chisholm Maroon, a little bit of a bias here, but let's try to keep that at the door. So we have recently changed out from the last time we did a tournament, which would have been the UQ tournament. We've got a new top laner, and as well we have a sub in for the AD carry. So on Chisholm's side, we have Waffle Wizard sitting in the top lane, Microlag in jungle, Malfunction on the mid lane, Olive Tree and the Small Boy in the bot lane, AD carry and support respectively.
Yeah, and again, yes, there's sort of a change in personnel, I feel like, for Chisholm, but the team identity, I feel, has largely stayed the same.
Yeah.
Thanks to Microlag remaining in that jungle. I'm thinking back to the ECA tournament when I last saw this team play. And it was wherever Microlag went, that's where the pressure went. He was sort of creating the space. He was getting the kills. He was the one carrying the team. And at the same time, that's beneficial because the solo laners, I always felt, have been more of a focal point as opposed to the bot lane for this team. And with this current meta as well, where bot lane AD carries are kind of in this awkward position where they're not relevant until late.
Yeah.
I feel this benefits a team like Chisholm and with a player like Microlag who will help get his solo laners to take this game over, if not doing it himself.
Yeah.
I feel they're in a super strong position. And when I look at the lineup of Trinity, who they're against today, I have some big questions for Trinity. I mean, this is a very new team.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be too harsh on them, but because they're a new team and because they're playing against a team that I feel like has an established sort of go-to play style and almost team personality, they need to find a way to fight that while still coming to grips of the game and its pace itself. So it's a big ask for them.
And it's definitely something that, I mean, it's really awesome that new teams and new players are getting into the esports scene in general. I mean, I want to make sure that everyone can feel invited and safe in this esports environment. But as well, I mean, there are certain lessons that you learn over your career as a League of Legends player, just little tips and tricks, whether team compositions and things like that. So sometimes newer players just necessarily don't have that knowledge of the game knowledge. The base game knowledge can be lacking somewhat.
Exactly. So while I'm not necessarily looking for Trinity to possibly win this game, what I am expecting to see is sort of learning that base knowledge. I want to see how well they attack the map in and of itself, what their objective focus is, how they're playing together as a team. Situations like that. Quickly going through the lineup for Trinity, because we didn't get to that. Top lane will be Admiral JB, the Red Bear in jungle, the Asian Pro in mid lane, Erebus, nice little Magic reference. The second one on the stream on the AD carry position, and then Pelican 32 in support. Now, again, looking at this lineup, the only player really with experience I feel like that's going to carry over into this game is going to be the jungler, the Red Bear 720, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, which is interesting because definitely in this position, you do want to make sure that you keep Microlag under control. Especially we'll see what the picks and bans are, but he has definitely shown that he is someone you need to fear on that Kindred. He goes after Marks, and he goes after Marks very hard. And so throwing on the most experienced player into the jungle to combat Microlag somewhat, I think is probably going to be the way that they even pull ahead.
They have to. They absolutely have to. But I also still question, is the Red Bear really going to be strong enough? Based on solo queue sort of standings, Microlag still is a couple steps above, unfortunately, where Red Bear is. And then really, if you go through lane by lane, it just feels like, yes, Trinity has done the right thing in putting the right players in the correct positions, but even then Chisholm still feels that one step ahead in each place. So while I do agree, yes, it's good to put the Red Bear to try and match Macrolag, I also want to see them attack the bot lane. I feel like that's going to be their best hope. But it's also going to be a big ask because for Trinity, that's also where their least experienced players are.
Yes. So it is unfortunate because you are saying that the only outs you have are these possible situations, but unfortunately you don't have the right dice roll in that moment. I mean, I'm waiting here to be surprised as well. It is the caster's curse. We can sit out here and make as many predictions as we possibly humanly can, but at the end of the day, I mean, the amount of times that I've said something and I'm like, maybe they'll teleport bot lane, and then it just doesn't happen.
Nope.
Or they just go mid and then it's a team fight at Baron and I'm like, it's just 20 minutes. Like how Baron just spawned. Why are you all there? You were at Dragon 2 seconds ago.
Look, that's a big objective. That is
I mean, Baron is a big objective and it especially helpful for pushing down those lanes. More traditionally for sieging over the years.
Yes.
I mean, the change from Baron just being a buff that you just have that would just make you good at everything. Now just to have a specific objective where you just want to get those inhibs.
Well, that buff is going to the new Elder Dragon and then some with that executability. That horrifying. Fortunately, we're not dealing with that. But the other thing, too, which I'm going to be looking at from the Chisholm squad, is because this is an opponent for them that, honestly, I do believe they should win. I want to see how cleanly they execute this game. Because similar to Trinity, how I want to see how they attack the map, I'm going to be looking at Chisholm with a much more critical eye in this game. I feel this is a chance for them to really come up with a solid team play and strategy. I'm sure you already have when talking to the team before. And I want to make sure they can actually execute that because there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to. So for them, they should be able to do what they want and do it in a nice, clean manner. If not, maybe it's a case of, maybe a misplay here or there might throw them off. Maybe they might get overconfident. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be very critical on their side because I feel they should be able to have their way with this map.
Yeah, and the hardest thing that is about the esports in general is essentially the human element, the thing that you cannot control. As a coach, as casters sitting here, you can say as much as you want, but at the end of the day, there are people behind those screens and you don't know what they're thinking. You don't know what they've happened to them today. Hey, maybe they just got like 7 weeks worth of homework all in a day and they're thinking about that and how they're going to have to deal with that. Maybe they're fatigued. All these human elements. As you said, overconfidence is a huge...
It is.
Overconfidence is an insidious killer.
And this is a great segue to the next talking point I wanted to get into, which is, the benefits of high school esports and learning how to handle these in a team environment and overcome them, I feel is one of the biggest reasons why high school esports is like super beneficial for developing young minds.
Yeah.
Like this for a lot of these players is their opportunity to like really embrace that sporting team environment, learn these life lessons about communications, working together, teamwork, how to handle success, how to handle failure, how to, learn to keep egos in check and respect your opponents. These are all very important life lessons moving forward. That said, it appears we have moved to our picks and bans.
So we're underway now. So we're waiting for the first ban, and it is Diana. I believe that is targeted at the Red Bear. I believe he is a Diana player. Oh, it's actually Admiral JB.
Yeah, it's actually Admiral JB who is the Diana main.
Yeah,
Diana
in the top lane.
Yeah, which is unusual. I mean, I had been looking at his match history a bit, and Diana had been played mid, top, and AD carry. So
jack of all trades.
Everywhere except for the jungle, funnily enough. Seems to be a safe ban to get rid of.
I could have said anything else but that, and then I would have been right, but I chose the wrong one. And there's the Vladimir ban coming out of Trinity as well, probably aiming it more at Malfunction, I'd say. He was throwing around the idea of maybe playing a Vladimir, but we'll see what happens from there. The Rise being banned out against Trinity for the Chisholm Chiefs.
Yep. And this is interesting to me because I feel for a team like Trinity, you shouldn't be trying to target ban sort of meta champions.
Yeah.
I feel like this team hasn't gotten to a stage where they've learned how to play an established meta.
Yeah.
So just go for, attack their comfort picks, attack what they're used to playing, and force this team that's still learning the game to learn a new champion on top of that. Make that hill even harder to climb. So
well, speaking about target bans, there is the Trinity, which Waffle Wizards is ridiculously a good fan of. Just stays top. Just does what Trinity does best and just stays top, which we won't see this game. We will see possibly more team fighting, which will be good.
Yeah, I mean, when I was looking at Waffle Wizard, I saw he does play both types. He's either going to try and split push with the likes of Trinity, where he has like a 66 win percentage on, like something ridiculous, or he might go for the team fight type champion. And if you're targeting the split pushers, he might go for the team fight, which I kind of would be okay if Chisholm opts to go for that strategy. I still would have probably preferred if they played around the solo lanes and gone for the more 1-3-1. I think this pick right here will sort of tell us what they're thinking in Aatrox.
Yeah.
That's telling me we want to get aggressive up top.
Yeah, I mean, definitely another champion that Waffle Wizard does feel very comfortable on. The final two bans as well, being Nunu and Lee Sin. However, there is one specific champion that is not banned that may possibly be picked next. And let's see if you can find out.
Okay, well, I was watching a game beforehand, and I saw Microlag running around on a Corki jungle.
Yeah, I mean,
And so I'm just going to lock in Corki jungle pretty blind.
It's Corki jungle.
Knew it. Knew it.
No, the Kindred's not banned.
Ah, yes, Microlag's
fatal
Kindred.
mistake that some teams have made before in the past, and allowing Microlag to jump on that Kindred. We'll see whether he does pick it up.
I'll see if Red Bear takes it.
Yeah, I mean, it would definitely be a very big, bold strategy for Red Bear to take. An Elise pick with a Riven in top lane.
Bold as well.
Speaking of Kindred.
Yeah, the Instalock Kindred.
There's the Instalock. It should be a fun game.
I want to talk about this Elise pick right now because I really do like it. It's sort of telling me that Trinity is going to be going all in, all or nothing in this first 10 minutes. They're going hyper aggressive with the Elise, with the Riven. They're going to try and get some of those early kills, I believe, onto Waffle Rizzle in that top lane.
Yeah.
And, if you're a team that's coming in less skilled, sometimes you have to cheese a little bit. Sometimes you have to throw your opponents off balance.
I'm all for the cheese strats. I love a good cheese strat.
And Veigar's a nice safe pick in that mid lane as well, so you have a bit of scaling threat. I really do like, actually, what Trinity is doing in this pick and fan phase, considering where they're at as a team. I think this is a really excellent draft so far. Obviously, Riven, high skill cap champion, so I'm a little nervous on that, but Admiral is one of the, more veteran players on this team. He has passed that level 30 mark. Maybe it's been by going through that Riven. I'm curious to see how it goes. Meanwhile, Galio locked in mid lane on that other side for Chisholm. I am a big fan of Galio.
Well, we'll see if that rotates around to bottom lane as well. That could be a nice little flex pick there, whether it will go mid or whether it will go bot. But, I mean, it is actually... Veigar's a really good pick. It's a low skill cap. Essentially, the better that your opponent gets, the better that Veigar gets. And all you need to do is hit abilities to get AP upon AP upon AP upon AP. And then you just hit that R button and then delete.
Yeah, the outplay button, as I'm going to call that one.
Point-and-click adventure.
It is super... I am not good at League of Legends. Shock and awe. Veigar is one of those characters that even I can play. So I definitely enjoy seeing the Asian Pro locking that one in. I am hoping it's a Galio mid, just because I'm a fan of Galio mid, and with the way how the teaming is being set right now, I think that extra layer of crowd control is super strong. If they can pair that with something like a more of an Enchantress support, like I saw a Janna hover before.
Yeah.
I think Lulu would also be fine in this situation. These obviously aren't World's meta picks, but I'm just trying to think within this context, where you can almost double support your Kindred and your other AD carry. Yeah. I think if you're going to be going for that more team fighty brawly comp, would be huge.
Yeah. Well, let's go over the final four bands there. It's Lux, Ashe. Three bands, actually, and the Draven. And unfortunately, the last pick wasn't locked in there for Trinity. So we'll see whether that was maybe a little bit of a fake out. I know certain people will not ban people because they just want to have more champions in the game.
Perhaps, as we're saying, these AD carries get locked in super fast. Again,
Misfortune and Caitlyn.
Too simple to play AD carries. I'm okay with this. I feel Caitlyn is actually surprisingly strong at the moment, largely because of her range. And again, with playing around with two supports, look how much lockdown right now Chisholm has between the Nautilus and the Galio. Caitlyn should have all the time in a row to just whap away.
Oh, but there's actually a nice pick coming out of the Soraka in the bot lane, able to apply the global heal presence, especially with Microlag's ganks. Post 6. I mean, if it's enough just to keep that Veigar alive for that little bit longer, or the Riven as soon as she engages, just to give her a little bit more health when a Riven will inevitably do what all Rivens do and just go straight into the fray.
True. And I mean, for that reason, I have to say, I guess, sometimes you need to take, your comfort as opposed to what might be stronger for the team. Personally, I would have liked to see something like a Leona or a Rakan to really further emphasize that dive and create space.
Yeah.
When you have a Veigar and then like a support that can create that space, Misfortune honestly should be fine and able to sit back. And really, there are some tools, I feel like, for Chisholm to possibly get in Misfortune. I mean, you have the Nautilus hook. That's the big one. But outside of that, really, I feel, a good Veigar stun and Misfortune's fine. So the Soraka, I'm worried, might not be as necessary. I kind of feel as if Chisholm gets to Erebos on this Misfortune, Not even Soraka's going to save him, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely does help a lot in the early game. It's definitely going to be a war of attrition. If Caitlyn and Nautilus do play back and do play a little bit more passive,
they're not going to.
I mean, if they do, then obviously, like, Caitlyn's little bit of poke each time she does poke, say Misfortune down, Soraka's just going to be able to heal it up and just keep Misfortune as healthy as possible.
Yeah, but you also need to be careful because the Soraka does provide sustain to the Trinity lane, and that's something Nautilus won't be bringing to the table. And you cannot underestimate Misfortune's pre-6 burst damage. A couple good chunks.
A nice double up, killing a minion, and then bouncing off.
And all of a sudden, all of her tree's going to have to back, and you have momentum going to this bot lane, which honestly I'm a little bit on it just because I feel like there's not too much kill pressure there, but it's also a tough lane to take down in and of itself because of the Raka. So you might get Misfortune scaling a bit. Misfortune does peak at 2 items. This is a team that wants to play fast and aggressive, and if they can accelerate to that earlier, there is a world where Trinity can take this game over in the first 5-6 minutes of this game. And all of a sudden, Chisholm's going to be playing on the back foot. And I would be super impressed if Trinity is able to do it. I do like their team composition in that facet. But if they're unable to do it, looking at the late game scaling, looking at the team fight coming out of Chisholm, it's going to get rough really quickly.
I mean, I'm just looking at that Aatrox in the top lane, and I just don't even want to play against that. I'm more afraid of Aatrox than what I am Riven now. Riven's you can at least deal with. I mean, my best counter to Riven in top lane was Fiddlesticks, because she'd come at you, just fear and walk away. But you can't do that with an Aatrox.
You know what? You know how I deal with Aatrox in the top lane?
How?
I don't play top lane. And it works so well for me. And so I see an Aatrox like, that's fine. That's not my problem.
Actually, they're very similar champions nowadays. They've both got that triple Q.
Yeah, they do.
They've both got a dash. Hang on a second. Is this... Huh? They've both got
it's a match made in heaven.
It is. It is. So it is the battle of the Qs, essentially. We'll see which Q outdoes the other one.
Yeah, it is a mechanical lane. That is going to be very mechanic based.
Yes, and Riven obviously comes down to how well you can apply those mechanics, all the little skills that you've learned over the time you've played Riven. I mean, I know some really good Riven players that do some stuff you don't even know how they've done it. I think that's going to be the defining factor is Riven's mechanical skill.
Something as well that I want to point out that I actually find kind of interesting going into this one is the Veigar opting to take the Ignite.
Yeah.
That, I mean, usually you see that for Assassins, if nothing else, and in response to when you're against something like a Veigar, you would see a barrier on the other side.
Yeah.
Galio instead, malfunctioning. He's going for the teleport, which I also respect. They're playing the map. That's fine. But
that is the meta nowadays. There's a lot of really quick fights in a lot of different places.
But seeing the Ignite on the Veigar tells me, okay, they're going to want to, pick fights and they're going to want to get some early kills. The other thing of note, which I kind of find might be a bit unfortunate, is barrier on Soraka.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that is a bit of a misclick there, whether it comes down to a lack of game knowledge. But the barrier is usually not, for those who don't know, barrier is not usually a skill you take in the bottom lane as Soraka. And we also greeted to some amazing 10-year anniversary splash arts, which I find hilarious.
I love the... Have you seen the Malphite one?
The Kale and Malphite one are my favorite.
Yes.
But yeah, the Soraka running barrier, I mean, it is going to help her against maybe the burst that comes out of Nautilus and Caitlyn if she does get caught out. However, they have lost, say, an Ignite or an Exhaust, which will help deal with the Aatrox, with the Kindred, with that Caitlyn.
Yeah, and I'm like, when I say this, I'm not going to be coming down too hard on Pelican as well. But the reason why you don't typically see barrier on the supports, it's exactly as you just said. The role of the support is less to keep yourself alive, more to keep the rest of your team alive.
So when you are too well.
So when you're running barrier, it's very much a self-serving ability.
Yeah.
What they would have been better off doing is giving the Soraka the heal.
Yes.
And giving Misfortune the barrier if they wanted to run the barrier in that bot lane.
Even then, Soraka still can heal.
Yep.
So the more Soraka is alive, the more she can heal. So there is some validation to the pick as well.
True.
It could just be an accidental pick. I mean, there's many times where I've accidentally run Smite in the top lane or Smite as a support.
Or Lethal Tempo as Ivern.
Okay. Ooh, yeah. I mean, he is ranged now. It might work.
Yeah. No, that was an interesting ARAM. That said, though, as we will soon be getting into this game, time to make our last predictions. Who do you think takes this game? I think, even though I am really impressed with Trinity's draft, I think given the mountain they need to climb, this is the right squad to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to experience and the team I am more familiar with. So I still think Chisholm wins this one, but Trinity has a chance to make this very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to give it over to Chisholm as well. I believe that if Trinity showed signs of really good mechanical skill, especially on the Elise, on the Riven, even on the Soraka to a degree, being able to play the momentum of the heals and especially hitting R at the correct time when it's just in that moment where you just think you might get a kill and then she's able to ult and save the day. However, I don't think that the mechanical skill is there for those certain picks, whether it just comes down to experience or just general game time playing. Like compared to the Chisholm Chiefs, their levels are kind of low. But it looks like they will go for a little bit of an invade strategy
it does look like that could be the case. And the Red Bear walked dangerously close to that 5-man squad at Chisholm. Unfortunately, dropped the ward before going in the bush, so we'll be able to escape for now.
Yeah.
And this is where I'm going to be curious in watching how Trinity reacts.
Yeah, I mean, they have dropped that ward. It is on 1 HP. They weren't able to clear it, so they have seen it. I do think that Chisholm will probably play safe here. You necessarily, as we were saying in the early game, you don't want to be giving away those early first bloods, those early kills, mainly because you don't want that team to get ahead in any way or function whatsoever.
And this is an example of, again, a newer team not necessarily knowing how to play the map correctly. Yeah. And this is a good job by Chisholm taking advantage of that. They're going to be going straight for the buffs to steal. I doubt the Red Bear is going to be feeling confident enough in his team to go for the horizontal jungling. That might be required. So this is a real opportunity for Microlife to actually 3-buff his opponents. Super smart play right now for Chisholm.
I mean, it is also very dangerous for Elise to, say, counter jungle against a Nautilus and a Caitlyn. Mm-hmm. If she isn't level 3, you are going to be losing that escape, and you're just going to get hooked, line, and sinkered, and then trapped, and then just sniped.
Yeah, and if Malfunction's there as well, add an extra taunt on top of that, had the Galio actually gone for it.
You're not going to have a great time.
Preparing for that level 1 fight.
Yeah,
so.
And I believe the Riven is also running lethal tempo, which
and is
won't
in
help
trouble because Microlag's already level 2. Admiral will be able to hop away out of this one. The red buff doing work, and Microlag might be considering that dive. Does take a tower shot, but good job by Admiral. Held on to flash, didn't panic. Early aggression, though, for Chisholm.
Yeah, I mean, not blowing that flash was probably the most important thing because, as we see, Microlag's just going to probably come back around again.
Oh my goodness.
He's got a magnet on Riven.
Yeah, he does. And you know what? I think this is a case of Chisholm actually showing a lot of respect towards Trinity's higher skilled players. They're thinking, all right, this might be who you're going to play around. We're going to try to shut that down early. So while I do appreciate, the double gank coming from Microlag, you need to be careful because this gives more opportunities for the Red Bear to start getting more and more camps ahead.
Yeah.
But take a look at where his pathing's going. He's going right to where he's been double buffed, and he should know this because Microlag has shown himself twice on the map.
Yeah. And then, I mean, they have lost that momentum that they would have had through Microlag coming through in the top lane.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate pathing mistake for Trinity, but again, learning experience, something to go back, watch the stream, pick up on later as a bit of a fight's happening. Microlag still looking for the Red Bear. Malfunction flashes over, but goes straight into the Asian Pro. Doesn't matter because Microlag has found himself first blood. Asian Pro has to burn flash as well to escape.
Yeah, I mean, he found it. He eventually found it through many ganks and many fights. He actually got it, and there's Aatrox
Admiral
as well.
Ooh, that was super close for Admiral. I feel like he was one auto away from getting that Letho tempo actually to start popping. Yeah. Speaking of Admiral, so when he turned to run, he conceded that fight to Waffles Wizard, who was so close to ending it.
You can't turn your back on Aatrox. He'll just continually chase you down over and over again. But going back to that fight that happened in the mid lane there, the Galio being able to jump over the wall, flashing and holding down Vigar, so he wasn't able to help the Elise whatsoever. I mean, it has just put Elise behind a lot. She's now lost her blue buff. Now Microlag's going to get his blue and the red as well. Elise hasn't made her way over there. Microlag just has shown just that he's a very good jungler.
Yes, and a very smart jungler as well because Elise, arguably the best player on the team, a very feast or famine type jungler as well. Yeah. So attacking the Red Bear in his own jungle, stealing his buffs, putting him behind is actually really hindering Trinity's major win condition. This is, again, very smart play coming from the Chiefs, who might have a solo kill as well. Asian Pro cannot escape Malfunction. 2 kills in favor of the Chiefs.
Just a really nice, clean kill there by the Galio in mid lane, just by Malfunction, realizing how big his damage potential was out. Unfortunately, the Vigar was throwing his stun down in an area that probably wasn't the greatest due to the fact he was locking himself in there as well. You kind of want to throw it on the outside, so there is that wall between you and the enemy. But these things happen, and Malfunction was able to take advantage of that.
Yeah, that was a really big play, but we're not done yet. Small Boy getting right into Airboss's face, getting a couple good autos in. The follow-up damage from Oliver Tree, not quite there yet. Airboss actually could potentially turn this one around. Olive Tree was looking for Pelican instead, so a bit of a miscommunication from the bot lane, and Erebos not going to chase it up, does the smart thing and pulls back for now. Something I want to bring attention to.
Yeah.
Look at the vision on the bot half of the map right now.
Oh, and speaking about vision, Admiral's going to take down a red ward.
Finally uses that flash he's been holding onto, and a nice cocoon will stop the attack for now. 3 members of Chisholm up top at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, the red ward was the bait. You know, leave it out there, take that down, and then as soon as you think you're safe, there's Michael Lag jumping over a wall again. I don't feel like this Riven will ever be truly safe in the top lane.
No, I think Chisholm has made that abundantly clear within the first, 5.5 minutes of this game. We want to get Waffle Wizard ahead. We want to put Admiral down, make him play from behind, and so far quite successful already. A 10 CS lead for the Aatrox.
Yeah, and I mean, the new mark is up on Gromp there for in Trinity side there, and as well the Dragon's up, and it's in Infernal.
Yeah, and that is going to be a very critical dragon, I feel, for both of these teams. Trinity, I almost feel like they need this to drag themselves back into this game if they still want hope for that early game success.
Yeah.
So I want to see them make a play around there, but I feel like with the way how Chisholm has been playing and sort of the intelligence and around their team comp, I also expect them to actually definitely contest it, as up top, another bit of a duel between the swordsmen. Waffle Wizard is level 6 and will go ahead and pop that ultimate. Admiral trying to run, does not have flash available, and these knockups are connecting. Admiral should get cut down. A last second stun, and gets him out of that alive despite the flash from the Aatrox.
Yeah, that was ridiculously close. I was really waiting for maybe a minion to die and then to Riven hit 6 and then to come around with that. But speaking about Dragon, there he goes. Dragon taken down in order for the Chiefs there. And I mean, this Aatrox is just getting so unlucky. It's just the slivers of HP that Riven is walking away with.
Oh, that is a great dredge line connecting, and the follow-up from Malfunction is there. Pelican forced to burn flash to get away. The ignite was actually dropped onto Erebos, it looked like, so a bit surprising with that, but good gank, better escape.
Yeah, that was a very lit there, Soraka. Unfortunately, we just didn't escape the range there at the last moment. The Soraka is now going back, which will probably give the advantage over to the Chisholm Maroons here, taking down those tower plates. And it looks like a gank might happen in the mid lane.
Waffle Wizard, though, is in trouble up top. That is a lot of damage from the Red Bear. In mid, Asian Pro does go down to Micro Lag as Waffle Wizard tries to turn things around the 2v1, won't be able to, and finally Trinity gets on the board.
Yeah, really good gank there by Elise, being able to take advantage of how low Aatrox was. Riven just coming back as well, but we'll see whether she makes a little bit of a wander into the wrong brush there. Galio's saying, "Hi, how you doing? Happy Halloween. Please don't go on my lawn."
Yeah.
Telling her to leave away. And Kindred now has also got 2 kills. Galio sitting on 1 there, so we'll slowly see the ramp up of Michael Lag's Kindred over the course of the game.
I think we will for sure. 2 kills on that Kindred. I believe it might be 2 stacks now as well. Did get the mark on the first Scuttlebug as well as one of the champion marks. So Microlac in good position to take this game over should we go late. At the moment, we might not even need to, because with the way how this game is going, it has been all Chisholm all the time. We've seen a little bit of life out of Trinity. I still want to see them maybe focus more around that bot side, especially with that next mark being on their own blue buff. You can see already Red Bear making his way down there.
Yeah, I mean, the mark was put onto Riven there, so I'm sure she has some idea of what's coming. You don't get marked for no reason whatsoever, and there she is, maybe engaging on the Aatrox.
Yeah, still trying to make a play, and this is very risky. A level down, as you can see, this trade is not going to go Admiral's way. Waffle Wizard has gone ahead, dropped the ultimate. One last slam of the sword will do it, and sorry, Microlag, you're not going to get your mark this time.
Yeah, I think Waffle was a little bit over Riven escaping with just a little bit of HP, and unfortunately, Riven is a little bit squishier in the early game. She doesn't have those Death Dance or the Black Cleaver to give her that health and sustain. She does have a great shield, but it doesn't do too much.
There's that stun that we were looking to see from Asian Pro before, and as you can see, super effective when it connects. Malfunction can't continue that attack as Admiral has teleported back into lane, and this time Microlag is here to help. Ultimate already used. Admiral still trying to 2v1. Meanwhile, in mid lane, that is a very aggressive Malfunction. He gets in Asian Pro's face and takes down this Vigar. Up top, Admiral going back in. This might be a questionable decision. Yes, he gets 2 knockups, but he gets knocked down as well. Kill going over to Microlag.
Yeah, I mean, Microlag plays very aggressive on his Kindred ults, being able to take advantage of them. But then Elise as well coming up into the mid lane.
Oh, Spiraling goes right into a minion, but the cocoon does hit Red Bear. He might be, 3 levels down, but he still wants this fight, gets taunted for his troubles, and should go down, taking to the skies, going to try and escape. Malfunction just has to bide his time and takes down the spider.
Just a nice punch there to end it out. I mean, as
oh my gosh, Dredge Line into Depth Charge. Depth Charge hits both, does force the flash out of Erebos. Pelican in a lot of trouble as well. Ace in the hole does secure the kill. Olive Tree takes down Erebos.
All right, are we good? Are we? I think we're good now.
I think we're good.
I think we're good. I don't know if there's any champions left alive to commentate over, but I mean, we were saying earlier before that Microlag would look like to be the champion to watch in this game. I'm actually starting to think it's more Malfunction in the fact that the way that he is taking advantage of even the little misstep from Viger there, he's able to take advantage of that incredibly well.
Yeah, and I mean, before coming into this game, I did give Microlag credit. He's very good at enabling his solo laners. This game, Malfunction, he's kind of enabled himself, getting 2 solo kills on the Asian Pro as well as a solo kill on the Red Bear.
Yeah.
It's like, Microlag, you're not needed. Just go ahead and focus up top. Go help Waffle Wizard. As you can see right now, Microlag in a bit of a duel with Admiral needs to be careful because Asian Pro is here. The stun does connect, and this is a big shutdown that Trinity needed.
Yeah, unfortunately being caught out there and the stun, the Viger stun landing onto the Kindred as well. Not being able to use the ult, which probably would have kept him alive and maybe turned that around to a 1-for-1. I don't think as soon as Viger appears and you're on low HP, there's not a lot of chance that you get away in that situation. But, I mean, a really nice retaliation there from Trinity, being able to use...
disrupting the back and dropping the bullet time. Olive Tree does escape as Waffle Wizard thinks he has a kill on Admiral JB, who's going to run for his life, try and spin as well. One more whack should do it. I'm not sure if Waffle Wizard will get there. Just the nick of range takes down this Riven, and Olive Tree did escape, so Trinity, not looking good.
No, we can't have a break. There's just constant action. Speaking about constant action, here comes Galio.
Yeah, this is an interesting play right now for Malfunction, walking right into the 1v2, but has enough damage to take down Pelican. Up top, Red Bear is fighting with Waffle Wizard, not going to win that when the Spiders get squished and Malfunction gets away alive in the 2v1. In the mid lane, Microlag jumping in on Asian Pro. He is within the circle of that stun. No outplay button can save you now. Maybe a flash can. The follow-up flash from Microlag will be enough, and it's a kill for the jungler.
And as we were just saying, there's no more people to kill. There we go, they find someone. Dragon's now up, so it probably looks like they will rotate over there and grab that after grabbing the scuttle there. They do have now bot lane priority as well. Look at these scores, 3-1, 4-1, 4-0, 1-0. The Chisholm Maroon, sorry. Force of habit.
I did it once as well. I did.
Are really showing their knowledge, their experience throughout all the previous tournaments in terms of, even though that this is fairly a new team, everyone's coming together and finding their own niche.
Yeah, but there is something, and I want to go back like 3 minutes. Yes. This is back a bit of a ways, but the Asian pros roam to the top lane to get that kill, I thought was a very mature roam.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not sure if that was maybe a call from the Red Bear, hey, come top and help out, or maybe it was some of his own natural instinct, like, I can help up here. But that is something I feel looking forward. Trinity can be proud of.
Coming in as well.
Yeah, this is going to be a very good gank. Watch for that cocoon. It does connect onto Olive Tree. The follow-up damage needs to come through. That's a lot of burst onto Olive Tree. Red Bear is going to try and chase him down. The Dredge Line is going to disrupt this spider, and it's a big save from the small boy to secure that kill. Meanwhile, up above, Microlag is here to help his team, and Pelican, one more auto she'll bring him down, so 2 kills going back in favor of Chisholm.
Yeah, I mean, really good rotations there coming around from the Galio. He did use his teleport, actually, not his ultimate, so being able to get there. And
oh no, Asian Pro walks right into disaster. He had good instinct before, maybe not that one, but the tower does get one right back, so Asian Pro, hey, it's a 1-for-1 technically.
Yeah, looks like Kindred didn't have enough mana there to use R, so really unfortunately the R was up, and I guess he desperately tried to spam that, trying to see, just watching the mana slowly tick up. But, I mean, that is another kill that is going over to Trinity, again, from Microlag, overstepping.
Now, as a coach,
yes,
I have to ask, when you see your jungler perform plays like that, is that something that you know you're going to have to talk to him about later, or is it something, look, that was a bit of a boo-boo, we're going to ignore that, let's focus more on the larger picture?
Yeah, there are specific moments sometimes where you realize that, oh, we might need to bring this up. However, I know that Microlag does play very aggressive on his junglers, especially his Kindred, when he knows that he has his ult up. And I believe it was just a matter of fact of, oh no, I don't have enough mana I am going to die.
Oh, Admiral might be thinking something similar just because Riven has no mana and Waffled Wizard has a very big sword. Another kill secured up top. Red Bear's in trouble as well. Malfunction slamming that spider to the dirt. Agent Pro's going to try and build some space, but the spun does not connect and the small boy's still looking for it. Microlag has found Airboss as well, and look at this chunk damage. Press the attack is on and Microlag secures himself a kill. In the mid lane, Malfunction wants more. A nice bit of a Justice Punch helps takes down Pelican, and really left, right, and center, it is all Chisholm.
Yeah, and I mean, Malfunction is keeping on par with Microlag there, both 7 kills. Very interesting to see, even though in the tournaments that we've had previously, it definitely was Microlag who was the feature prominent star of the Chisholm Chiefs, now the Chisholm Maroons. But now looking at every single lane, it looks like we've got standouts in every lane, which is incredible.
Yeah, very exciting to watch if you are a fan of Chisholm. And up top, that is Rift Herald doing a fair bit of damage to the base towers.
Aatrox has also finally come down from top lane. He's now shown himself in mid. Whether he'll go back is up to his own discretion, but he's now left top.
I mean, this is interesting because with the 2 top towers gone and with no actual neutral objective on the top side of the map, I actually do want to see Chisholm start to focus more on the bot half as a great hook from the small boy does get onto the Asian Pro. Stun is unfortunately not going to last long enough, and here comes Microlag. He is hungry for Veigar. The outplay button was dropped. Lands for Spite falls a little bit too late after the kill is secured. A little bit of a misplay, but at the end of the day, it is another point on the board for Chisholm.
Yeah, and now it's just taking down those towers, very methodical, making sure Microlag can grab the stacks. There is currently one on the Trinity's Krugs there, so whether he will take that, probably looks like Aatrox will grab that just as securing it. Whether they will wait for Baron now, wait for those dragons, get the towers, get the objectives, this is what Chisholm Maroons want to be focusing on.
Oh, Waffles thinks he has something, recognizing quickly that's a 1v3, not going to pick the fight now.
But he's Aatrox.
True. And there is help waiting in the wings right now. The heroic entrance from Malfunction is available, so if Waffle Wizard wants to force this fight, which it looks like he does, he's going to go for it. But that is 4 members and a bullet time. Here comes that our heroic entrance is going to connect this too, as up above Waffle Wizard is just cutting down members of Trinity. This is a disaster for the red side, and this is the game possibly being blown open to its conclusion.
Yeah, I mean, you're never truly alone in a lane if you've got a Galio. He's always just one punch away, being able to jump in there with the heroic entrance. And there's probably the tower going down as well, opening up the inhibitor. I don't know if there's much Veigar can do in this situation.
He's going to have to burn Flash to escape, and that should be enough to keep him alive for now, but the inhibitor will fall in under 18 minutes. This is a huge success for Chisholm. I am, again, super impressed with how methodical they are playing this game. They are respecting their opponents in the sense that they're, treating them as a serious threat and showing them no mercy. They just want to end this game, end it clean, as I was hoping to see. Super impressed so far from this blue side.
Yeah, and Dragon should almost be up as well. We'll see whether the overextension here in mid will pay off, but probably not. There is a lot of wave clear now coming out of the Misfortune, coming out of the Veigar, being able to stop the minions from pushing in. However, they now do have an open inhibitor. Well, the inhibitor down at top, so they do need to be careful about those super minions constantly pushing into the top lane.
And it is a 15k deficit, essentially, for Trinity to boot as we approach this 20-minute mark. Another Infernal Drake is definitely not going to help out this red side, and I have to admit, Trinity has been quite unlucky with these dragons so far. When you're behind, the last thing you want to see is Mountain and Infernal Drakes popping up time and time again as Red Bear in a bit of trouble. Look how quickly Microlag will just burst him down. Asian Pro's going to attempt as well. The stun did not connect, so has to walk away. And this is a very scary Galio Kindred combo.
Yeah, I mean, the Veigar probably had enough damage there to actually kill the Kindred in the situation. He did have his ult, he did have Ignite, and the Kindred's ult was down as well. So maybe perhaps knowing your own damage output as well is a really big key point to learning League of Legends.
I'm not sure actually there would have been enough there, because if you're looking at the items, Asian Pro still hasn't completed anything, and that could be a tough time to do. Bullet time used to clear some waves as Wizards actually trying to go from above as Malfunction comes from below. They get into Erebos and should be able to bring him down. Microlag securing that kill. It's up above Wizard, zoning away 3 members of Trinity. Admiral got in a little too close, has to flash away as Wizard is just cutting down everyone. That is going to be most likely the ace. Red Bear will be the last to fall, and Chisholm will take this game a quadra kill for the Waffles.
And there he comes out of nowhere. I mean, the Aatrox is like, hey, I need to get some kills. I got to catch up. And there he just pulls out a Quadra. And possibly the game there. I mean, the death timers are still low. It is still under 20 minutes. So we'll see whether they can maybe perhaps come back. It is 2 seconds on the Misfortune and 1 second
Yeah,
on the
here we
Liger.
go. This is that last bit of defense for Trinity, but that's an interesting stun. It's holding the small boy in place, but Wizard, he wants more. He gets close. Airboss doing a bit of damage, chipping away at the health as the Nexus gets quite low. Airboss steps forward. Ace in the hole does help secure the kill for the Olive Tree as the Nexus falls. It is a case of Chisholm stealing one more as well as this game.
Whew. And when we said it wanted to be a quick game, I don't know if we understood it was going to be under 20 minutes quick. That was a ridiculously fast game coming out of Chisholm. Not even letting Trinity complete some items. They weren't even able to get to those item spikes. Misfortune wasn't even able to build her Black Cleaver. I mean, it's really unfortunate coming out of Trinity, but there is a reason why Chisholm won.
There is a reason why, and I feel it was just a case of experience.
Yes.
Knowing a strategy and executing that strategy and not really being challenged for it too much. So it's a couple times I feel the Red Bear did go to the top side to try and assist, but by then it did feel a bit too late.
Yes.
Bot side was completely ignored, I feel like, for most of that game. As you can tell, no completed items for Erebos, no completed items for the Asian Pro. Rough times for each of these sort of players and each of these lanes. Again, it is a case of you might want to go back and look at your builds and think maybe how better to optimize when falling behind. I'm noticing Airboss didn't even get boots built, so that's something, an area to improve for the squad. Now comes that time where we got to pick an MVP and an ace. Honestly, I'm going to throw in my suggestions, but I'll let you have the final say. For the MVP, I'm looking at Malfunction on that Galio. Only because they were able to leave him alone against a Veigar.
Yeah.
I feel, yes, Microlag, yes, Waffles Wizard, and yes, Malfunction, they all stepped up and performed. One of them was doing it on his own, and as a result, didn't need resources given to him.
Yeah.
That was the Galio, so for that reason, I give it to Malfunction. For the ace, looking at the Asian Pro, which is odd because I'm saying, the both players were each of the mid lanes. Normally you would think, well, didn't Malfunction take down the Asian Pro? Yes, but the Asian Pro still found ways to keep himself relevant, despite, having a rough time in lane. I felt his roams did come at the right time. Unfortunately, the mechanics possibly weren't there to be as effective as they could be, but he was playing with his head on his shoulders. Yeah. And when you get beaten this badly, sometimes that's what you got to look towards. How was your composure when you were behind? Yeah. At least judging by his gameplay, it looked like his head was still in the game, and that's kind of why I give the ace to the Asian Pro.
You read my mind. I was going to say the exact same thing. I think seeing how Malfunction has transitioned over so many tournaments to now watching him absolutely solo a lane so comfortably, especially even though Galio is very anti-AP, I mean, it is still a melee-based champion against a Veigar who can zone you out so easily. But to know that he was able to adapt and overcome that, MVP definitely goes to Malfunction there. And the Veigar as well. Yeah. The rotations, being able to be at the right moment at the right time, taking down Microlag twice. Yeah. Which was the crucial thing that we were speaking about before the game. That was how Trinity was going to come back into this game.
Yeah, and I also want to give a little bit of a gold star, because we didn't speak about them much. Yeah. But the small boy and Olive Tree down in that bot lane, neither of them died the entire game. So perfect games for the two of them. Yeah. Again, I do feel like with the quick pace of League of Legends lately, bot lanes, unless we get to like those post 30-minute games, sometimes they're not going to feel as relevant. Yeah. This game ended in under 20, so we didn't get to see too much happening down there. But when you can get through any game without falling once, obviously it's a great performance. I feel, again, the Pelican Erebos lane, Erebos tried to get relevant. I'm questioning his build a little bit. I think that's an area he can improve on. And then maybe towards the end when you saw him chipping away at, I believe it was Waffles who was, ending the game. If he had a completed item, maybe he would have been able to chip more as opposed to a bunch of components. Still, though, areas to improve. I think the bot lane as a whole did fine given the task given to them for both sides. But this was a story of mid, jungle, and top. Yeah,
I agree. And I mean, it just does come down to general just game experience. As we were saying, Trinity haven't played a lot of games comparing it to their levels. So it just comes down to playing the game more. Yeah. Which, I mean, oh no, I need to play video games more. How bad? And I would love to see how Trinity maybe go on later in the tournament when they are able to get more experience and they are able to come back with different team comps and learning from their mistakes and everything like that.
Yeah, exactly. Because League of Legends is a strategy game at heart. And the best way to learn a strategy game is to lose.
Yes.
When you lose, you can realize what you did wrong and start thinking of ways how to improve and then apply these conceptual improvements in the future. Sometimes they will work, sometimes they won't. So for that reason, I'm super excited to see what Trinity can do, like not only for the remainder of this tournament, but moving into next year as well.
Yes.
I think there's going to be plenty of opportunities for this young esports school to grow.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see what they bring to the table when we see them next.
As am I. I don't believe there's any final statements. I would, again, really, really love to thank UQ for sending this man over to cast with me and for all their support during this whole tournament here. We couldn't have done it without you guys. Thank you to everyone who's watching at home. Any final statements from you?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Again, love the campus. Super fun day. I'm excited for next week when we get to do this all again. And shameless self-plug, formal casting, Twitter, if you haven't already, drop it. I gotta do it.
Hey, you gotta try and get your reach out wherever you can.
Exactly.
I understand. Make sure you guys as well follow us on Twitch. So hit that top left or right, I believe it is. It's one of these ones.
One of us looks like an idiot, and the other one is pointing exactly where we need to.
So make sure you follow us so you know when we go live. Thank you so much for watching. And I've been Chuai, it's been Max, and we'll catch you guys next time.